Hello, welcome to a video for grade 12 physics on gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy is another form of energy that we encounter very frequently in physics and has a very strong connection to kinetic energy and other types of energy because it's really easy to convert gravitational potential into kinetic energy and vice versa. And it's very, very common. So let's take a look at our example here. This question says, how much work is done to raise a 10 kilogram object to a height of 2 meters? So in this case, I have a mass and I have here, this is a distance, also known as a height, because this is raising a height above the ground, and we're actually interested in our change in height here. So I can look at this, and I can look at this in two ways. I'm looking for work, and my formula here is force times displacement. And I can use this in order to figure out how much work is done. So, plugging this in, my force in this case, I have to overcome the force due to gravity. So my force here is mass times gravity. So working that through, the force that I exert on this one here is going to be a 10 kilogram object times 9.81, which gets me a force of 98.1 newtons. Great. If I'm using my formula for work here, I can now go my work is going to be 98.1 newtons times the distance, which is 2 meters. Working that through, that now works out to 196.2 joules. This is the amount of work that was done to raise this object to a height of 2 meters. Now, this is a very common concept. In fact, so common that we're actually going to combine these ideas here. What I did is I found my force is mass times gravity. So I can replace the force with mass times gravity, and the displacement is the height above the ground. So I'm going to write mass times gravity times height. Now in this case, we have this is our potential energy due to gravity. So our potential energy due to gravity is the mass of the object times gravity times the height that we change, or the change in height. This formula here, in fact, is on your formula sheet, or should be on your formula sheet, and this is very common. It's a shorter way to do this, and is so common that we use it as its own formula. The second part of this question asks, how fast does that object hit the ground if it is dropped from the height of 2 meters? Well, interestingly, I could do the math using my grade 11 formulas, but I already have a potential energy here. When I drop this object, I'm dropping it from a height of 2 meters, so this is 2 meters. All of that potential energy, it has potential energy at the top, all of that is converted into kinetic energy. So I know that this is going to be converted into kinetic energy, and I know my kinetic energy formula, like that. So 196.2 equals half. My mass is 10 v squared. And doing the algebra, getting through that, which you can do by this point, I get 6.26 meters per second. So if you raise an object to 2 meters above the ground and drop it, it will hit the ground at 6.26 meters per second. And you can figure that out using your force or using your acceleration due to gravity if you'd like. You'll get the same answer. This is just a different way of doing it with understanding our kinetic energy stuff here. So the potential energy due to gravity is this. When you raise an object above the ground, you give it a potential energy. And then when you drop it, it's converted back into kinetic energy. I hope this helps. This is a pretty complicated topic, so take a look at some of the other resources on this to help you understand it. Hope you have a great day. See you.